My name is Maddie. My dad has a super fun job. He's an engineer and gets to do lots of experiments for NASA, like this one that grows plants on the International Space Station. I used to think all my dad did all day was sit on the computer and push buttons, so a while back he let me go to work with him through the day. He showed me one of the cool things he was working on. This project is called the black body. A black body is used to calibrate some of the infrared instruments that they build where my dad works. This black body was built for NASA to help them develop a satellite that will measure global warming from space. It's basically just a big vacuum chamber with a bunch of temperature sensors inside it. The chamber has to be cooled with liquid nitrogen, which also makes good ice cream. And then heaters keep it at a constant temperature while the calibrations happen. Most of the sensors have to be so accurate they use very expensive instruments to measure them. Other sensors like these two that measured the liquid nitrogen temperatures didn't need to be as accurate, so he used the cheaper instrument to read them. It's this little blue box. It's called the USB Daq 2416AL for measurement computing comparison. With 24-bit resolutions, the USB Daq reading ended up being almost as accurate as the more expensive instruments. My dad was real happy about that. To record and use the data, Dad had to make a software interface for all the instruments. The USB Daq software was the easiest. Measurement computing gave him some free LabVIEW tools, so all he had to do was drag and drop two little widgets into his software, one to initialize the DAQ and the other to capture the temperature. Besides capturing data, this little box can control things too. Dad uses an analog output and some special drivers to run heaters and coolers on one part of the black body. The expensive temperature sensors told the software when the heaters were too hot or too cold, and the software told the USB DAQ how much to heat or cool. This control system was able to keep the temperature constant to within 1/100th of a degree Celsius. That made my dad even happier. I like it when my dad's happy because then we get to do fun stuff like go camping and build go-karts and play the Wii. Thanks, measurement computing, for keeping my dad happy.